This conference will now be recorded.
All right, as always, everything that we're going to be talking about this afternoon is for educational purposes only. Nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So let's talk about this morning, and let's talk about what's actually going on right now, which looks like we're going to have a pretty good overall afternoon based off what we have. So first of all, let's talk about tea. Now, this one was a pretty easy one, and you have to remember something. When I say easy, I just mean that it did exactly what it said it was going to do in a timely manner. Now, a stock like T, we have to understand something about its personality is that it is a slow mover. You're not going to see this stock end up running, for the most part, end up running a few dollars within a day. On average, we can see right here, it trades 48 cents. So we have to have our expectations based off of, what it typically does and what the percentage-wise of what we can expect from it is. So coming over and looking at this morning, we had beautiful prints at 31.50. The stock pulled up. We got a trigger back down. We printed at 31.50 again. It pulled up just a little bit, and then another trigger back towards that downside. After that, it was just perfect. We ended up getting from our 50-cent move from there. We ended up getting prints at 31. We pulled up basically 20 cents, another trigger down, brought us all the way down to 30.50. Now, I always say to you guys that reading the prints itself, there's more that goes into this than just understanding the prints. You also have to understand variables that come into these stocks, and the variables we talk about all the time during our classes. But something I want you to take a look at is if we look at the measured move over here, if you look at this bar, you could see a low of 31.66, a high of 33.06. Okay, so give or take, you're talking about $1.50. All right, and then if we come over here, you can see this same measured move bar came in from here. So when this came down to 30.50, we know it has to pull up. That's just, there's no question in anyone's mind that that has to happen. And it was a perfect spot for us to watch it. So we're coming back up to that 31 level, but we have huge selling sitting down at that 30.50. I'm going to keep it on our list for the afternoon. Do I really expect too much of it? Nah, unfortunately, I really don't, just because of the fact that it kind of hit its range already. Its volume is decreasing a little bit. So we kind of have to take it from there. It's going to have a change of personality, and you're going to have to see some really big volume come into it in order for us to really see it do anything. Now let's talk about Facebook. Facebook, we've been waiting for this thing to hit 150. Everyone in the world says 200, and the stock's going to blah, 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 blah. I could care less. The prints told us we had to get to 150. And not only did the prints tell us it has to get to 150, but now we have more prints at 150 that say it's not going to be able to hold. One thing you want to keep in mind is that the amount of prints we saw come in at that 150 level, this stock pulling up 20 cents is not a satisfactory pull-up. All right, so I in no way whatsoever, if I was someone that was looking to short this stock, would be shorting it right at this moment because of the fact that it's showing us it has to pull up more. Okay, but once it does pull up, the most logical spot I'd be looking for is sitting right here at about 150, 125 at that print line. That was a lot of prints at 150. And remember, Facebook has a big range. On average, it moves $4.12. So we have to take that into account. Last time at 160, 158 pulled up to 160. Yeah, that's very true too. It pulled up almost $10. All right, but keep that in mind. So look for that trigger, but make sure it goes up enough. A stock, if you're looking to take a longer term trade on something and a stock tells you that it's got to pull up, a bunch based off of how many prints you see, and it only moves 50 cents or something like that, and you see it trigger down, you can't go wrong waiting for a better situation where the stock goes way higher than where it has to go. But as I told every single one of you in this, you can look at any recording that you want. Facebook had to go to 150, and we finally got there. All right, so once again, I'm looking for this pull-up. I want a big pull-up in this thing before I even think about going towards that short side. Next one looking at is SQ. This is another one. We have beautiful prints on the downside of this thing. And we hit 72 3 times now. We have beautiful prints at 72 on the bid, and we just got 71.50 on that bid side as well. So it's another one I'm expecting a pull-up from before I look to go short. Now, does that mean I'm not going to make money toward going while it's going to the upside? I'm a day trader. Of course I am. But if you're looking for the actual position itself, make sure you allow it enough to pull up before you look to get in there. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to get into the position. You're just going to end up waiting. Okay, the stock's going to go up. You're going to have all this stress because you're down, blah, 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 blah. We all know what happens there. All right, so keep that in mind. Next one we're looking at is MU. So MU this morning, guys, where did I tell you my price target was? And guess what? I've never been upset beating a price target before in my entire life. But if we look back over here and you look at the recording from this morning's meeting, the double bottom was our price target. It's made a beautiful move down, and there is great, great, great selling sitting at that 37 level. So this thing still has more room to go. It's showing us more of an extended move. Every time we hit a price target, but it gives us more of exactly what we were doing in the first place, in this case, selling. That tells us it's going to go further. More of the new positions being taken are telling us that there's new people that have to make money. Remember, have to. It's not, an option, well, this guy just lost. No. Our assumption is that they're going to have to make money. All right, so we're coming back up to that 37 level, so we're going to have to see what happens there. It's pretty much at its range. Well, not pretty much. I mean, it is at its range. If you look over here, $1.68, it usually trades about $1.48. So is there really that much more room left in it? Not really. Based off the puzzle, but it looks like the market's starting to get a little push coming into here, and we're starting to see a little bit of a sell-off coming. So it's something to look at. Just be careful. Personally, if something breaks out below this, I'm not going to try to trade it there. If anything, I'm going to trade it above where its actual range is, because the range is just top to bottom. So there's no reason in the world that it can't just make moves and make a move in here, within the actual range that it's already traded. But in getting any more of a range is going to be a little bit tough. And then we have AMD. AMD is another one. We have good selling that came in at this 2350 point. All right, so at 2350, we know that the stock's got to pull up a little bit. Unfortunately, it's another one that is kind of extended above its range. So you're going to want to, if you are going to enter, you're going to want to make sure that it's above here. You're not going to try to break, get in on it on a break to the downside, because there's no real prints that it's going towards there. Remember, a trigger needs to trigger towards prints. It can't just trigger in any direction where there's nothing actually going to be there. And the only other thing that I got for this afternoon is DXC. If I can type it right. Yes, DXC. So DXC, it looks like it got halted. I mean, it made a huge move to the downside. You can see $17.69. But you know what? It's trading very smooth. The overall volume is staying pretty consistent, which I love to see coming into it. Just a matter of a print. Okay, the orders are very thin. So this is almost like a TLRY stock. What's going to happen is you need to see a burst of prints that definitively tell you exactly what has to happen. And that just has not happened yet. When I see it, I'm going to make sure I call it out. But as of right this second, you can see there's just nothing there yet that tells us, with a stock that moves on this much of a range, that it's time to do anything with it yet. So keep that in mind as we're going in. Other than that, I mean, pretty much it's our everyday stocks, and then this DXC. All right, so we're going to go with those. I mean, it looks, from the looks of things right before I started my meeting, it looks like we're going to have a good afternoon. It looks like we're going to get some volume, and we're going to get some good prints going on out there. So certainly is not an afternoon to miss. I am going to be, obviously, I'm not going to leave my computer, because when you get a good afternoon, you need to make sure you take advantage of it. You said logical move for Facebook was, when you look at it, because it does need to pull up a lot. There was a huge amount of selling that we did see at that 150 level, and then we had a few prints come in at at 149.50. So the logical pull up would be, technically, it would be 50 cents to start with. But if you see this print line, the closer we start getting to that print line, the more it's going to gravitate towards there. So that's just a spot that I'm looking for. Does that mean if it triggers down here at 150.50, I'm not going to take it? No, that doesn't mean that at all. It's just, it's a good logical spot for us to look at. 274,000 shares of $151.25 stock is a lot of money. So going to be paying attention to that real closely. All right, guys, anything else out there that I missed? Can you go over T real quick? Okay, real quick, because we got to get into that. Things are moving right now. Okay, make sure you're on time for our meetings. All right, but T, we have beautiful prints at 31.50. We have beautiful prints at 31. Make sure when you're looking over here, we could see we had basically a measured move that came into here that showed us that was pretty much going to be where the limit of it came, and we would expect a pull up, especially from the massive selling. So we're just having a big pull up based off the massive selling. I'm looking for 30 as my price target. All right, guys. So I will talk to everyone in the chat. I am going to get to trading, and basically, let's make sure. I mean, we got volume coming in, so if we have volume, let's take advantage of this afternoon. All right. Happy trading.